Just wanted to give a quick video update and have a little bit of a discussion here. Today is the 8th week that I have weighed myself every Wednesday night, Thursday morning. And I've gone so far from 436 down to 400 pounds even. I am at a flat 400 pounds right now, 8 weeks in. So 36 pounds, 8 weeks. And it's all due to this complete change that I've made. I've had some people starting to ask questions about what I'm eating, how I'm losing weight and whatnot. And I'm still sticking to the roughly 1,000 calories per day. And then that's through the week. And then Friday or Saturday, I will take a day to not be so strict in counting every calorie that I take, every calorie that I eat. I'm not just gorging myself on junk on that one day. You can call it a cheat day or whatever you want to call it. For me, it's a break, because if I don't take a break, I'm not gonna be able to stick to this. It's gonna cause me to burn out really bad. And it would do the same thing for most people. But that one day, I just kind of loosely count calories. Also, something else that I've noticed on that one day break that I'm taking in the weekend, you would think that running at such a caloric deficit through the week that you would want to eat everything in sight. Well, I'm to a point now where as I've said in one of the previous videos, I'm just not as hungry, and I don't have that desire to just eat all the time. Eating is no longer as much of an activity for me. It's no longer as much of a crutch for other things. So, to go along with that, I'm also not only full, but satisfied. And I try not to eat until I'm full, because being full is uncomfortable. But it takes a much lesser amount of food to satisfy me, or satisfy any kind of craving that I had, or whatever. Like I said, I think I may have said this also in a previous video, but like, one of my weaknesses is ice cream. I love ice cream, and I like pizza a lot. So on the weekends, if I'm feeling the desire to have some ice cream, I'm going to have some ice cream. But I limit myself to that one small time frame where I'm going to be able to eat, pretty much whatever. I've also noticed that in this complete dietary change, some of the stuff that I used to eat all the time before no longer agrees with my stomach. If I eat very much bread, it makes me feel very uncomfortable and very full. And I just don't have the strong desire to eat a big piece of garlic bread with cheese on it or anything like that. I don't need it anymore. So, one of the things that I wanted to talk about is the toxicity of relationships with food, and go into some of the detail about my personal relationship with food throughout my life. So growing up, I was very active. When I was a teenager, when I was in high school, I was on the wrestling team, and we had a high carb, high calorie diet, because we were working out and running all the time. And it was always you need to eat before you do this, you need to eat before you do that. And once I was out of that, once I was no longer involved in wrestling, so a lot of that diet habit stuck with me, and a lot of it just never really went away. So I had the the same diet, but just without a lot of the exercise. Um, right after high school into my early 20s, and I've struggled with my weight my entire life, but at my in my early 20s, I was at my lowest weight as an adult, and also my my personal peak of physical fitness. And I was working out and running every single day. I was working third shift. I'd get off work and I'd hit the gym, and I'd be there for 2 3 hours in the morning after work. I'd go home, sleep, get up, back to work, and then hit the gym for another 3 hours. And I was doing this like every day, and I was in great shape. And I felt awesome, and I just kind of drifted away from that. And I've tried to get back into it before, and it just it never worked for me because I never had the diet to make it work. Back to people asking me like what I'm doing and whatnot. What kind of diet are you on? Well, I'm not on a diet. I'm not on a specific set diet. The way that I view diets are that a diet is something that's supposed to be short term. A diet is something that is meant to have an end. Well, this isn't meant to have an end. This isn't meant to stop at any point for, as far as I'm concerned, for the rest of my life. It's not like I'm going to hit the goal weight of 230 and just start eating like shit again. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to have to maintain a set caloric intake that's going to help me maintain my weight, along with a level of exercise, on get into a better daily routine. The first 2 weeks, yeah, I would consider that a diet. The first 2 weeks, I lost 20 pounds. I'm now 8 weeks in and 36 pounds down. That first 2 weeks, for the first week, I ate nothing but chicken, broccoli, and cauliflower, prepared a variety of ways and seasoned in a variety of ways as well. The first weekend, I couldn't wait for this new pizza place to open up. We ate, and I felt horrible after, and I realized like what that first week had done. And the first week, every day I was craving everything that was horrible for me. And the second week was when the cravings started to kind of calm down. And then the third week was much better because I started to expand beyond just those three ingredients and start adding some other vegetables into the diet. And now it's progressed to the point where I'm learning to make meals. Chicken, broccoli, and cauliflower are still my staples. I eat those every single day, but I'm incorporating other things into it. Also, there's a great pizza that I found, a pizza recipe that I found that brings up a 10-inch pizza that's right at or under 400 calories. And that is, instead of using a big, some kind of big crust, a big bread crust, I'm using a low carb, low calorie tortilla. And I love thin crust pizza, so it's perfect for that. It makes a crispy thin crust pizza. You've got the flour tortilla that's roughly 100 calories if you buy the low carb tortillas. You're looking at half a serving of pasta sauce. I use the Prego pasta sauces. I like them smooth. I don't really like a lot of chunks to my tomato sauce. Mozzarella cheese. It's a full serving of mozzarella cheese, which is a lot more than what you would think of it as being. A serving of mozzarella cheese is a quarter cup. Well, a quarter cup is actually the perfect amount for that 10-inch pizza. Pepperoni. The serving size for the pepperoni that I buy is 6 slices. So you cut that into quarters, you've got 24 pieces of pepperoni, which is borderline too much for that pizza. I add some shredded grated Parmesan to that, and I don't even use a serving of the Parmesan cheese. I just use a pinch because the serving is a quarter of a cup. It's just a 3-finger pinch and sprinkled around the pizza. And, baking that, you bake the crust first. I'll show you all how to make it at some point. But you bake the crust first, and then you throw all the toppings on it and put it in the oven and cook it to the doneness level of your liking. And it's great. It's filling. It's fulfilling. So, speaking of filling and fulfilling, a lot of people have this concept, including myself, for the majority of my life: eat until you're full. Eat until you're full. Did you get enough to eat? Are you full? Well, you didn't finish everything. And I know that a lot of people that grew up in my generation and their parents, both, they had this concept of you got to clean your plate. Whatever's on there, you got to clean your plate. You got to eat all of it. If you don't eat all of it, you're wasting it. So there were countless times where it's like, oh, you eat till you're full. You start getting into this habit of every time you eat, you're eating until you're full. You eat breakfast until you're full. You eat a snack later on whenever you're not feeling that. You eat lunch until you're full. You have a snack after that. Whatever you're doing, every time that you eat a meal, your goal is to have this feeling of being full. And the average person does not need that. We live in a culture of buffets in America. If you're talking Chinese buffets, Italian buffets, barbecue, just a culture of buffets. And what do you do when you go to a buffet? Well, you pay your fee and you grab a plate and you load that thing up. You load a mountain of food onto a plate. Usually it's more than the plate should even hold. And you eat all of it. And then you go get another plate and you fill that plate up too. And you eat until you absolutely can't eat anymore. That's the culture of buffets, because, you gotta get your money's worth, right? You gotta eat till you're full. That's it's one of the worst practices that I think that we could have here in America, and I think that concept of eating till you're full is probably one of the biggest contributors to obesity in the United States. Not just the fact that people eat literal trash, they eat garbage and junk. I mean, fast food's some of the worst stuff that you can put in your body. But we have this culture, we have this mindset of eating till you're full and not wasting anything. Not eating everything is not the worst thing in the world. I mean, it's just, it's not, it's okay to stick stuff in the fridge, or even better yet, make sure that your portions are in control. Instead of a 16-ounce steak, let's say you go out for dinner and you would normally get like a huge cut of meat, a 16-ounce steak. Beef has a lot of calories in it. And you're going to get mashed potatoes with gravy, and you're going to get another side. And like, well, yeah, I think I've got room. I'm not full yet. I think I've got room for dessert. And even if I am full, I'm going to force a little bit of that down. And I won't feel as bad about leaving a little bit of the dessert as I would leaving the meal. So instead of going after the biggest piece on the menu, go for something that you wouldn't typically go for. Instead of going for the 16-ounce ribeye, go for the 8-ounce sirloin. Go for the 8-ounce New York strip if you're going to go out and have a steak dinner. Don't double up on the potatoes. Don't get both of your sides. It's like, I'll take a baked potato and mashed potatoes. Throw some broccoli in there. If most restaurants offer broccoli as a side, get your mashed potatoes, get your potato fix, your starch fix, and get some broccoli for your other side. Skip dessert. Or if you absolutely have to have dessert after that, share it with whoever you're with. You know, if you're going out to eat with another person, split your dessert with them. Cut it in half, get 2 plates, whatever you got to do. But basically, just you know, we have to move. I've had to move away from that concept of every time I eat, I got to eat until I'm full, because full does not feel good to me anymore. And full is what led me to be 436 pounds. So, you know, I'm not a pro at this. I'm not an expert by any means. I've lost 36 pounds. I know people that have lost way more than that, and work at it every day. But to me, the 36 pounds I've lost means a lot, because I've actually been able to do it intentionally this time. I'm actually seeing results for the effort that I'm putting into it. And with people asking me what I'm doing, I'm going to go into as much detail as I possibly can. I would like to make more videos talking about healthy and unhealthy or toxic relationships with food, but that feeling of being full, that's one of the bad ones I can think of right now. That builds an unhealthy relationship with food. The concept of having to eat until you're full. All right, I'm going to go ahead and cut this off. I know that I'm running around 15 minutes. Thank you for joining me in Learning to Live. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. Stay tuned for more videos. I will be giving weekly updates and hope to start adding some other videos in through the week as well.